Hello, and welcome to the Ryan Watts Life Coaching Podcast. Thank you so much for being here. This is Ryan. You can find us online at ryanwattslifecoaching.com. You should check that out. Today on the show, I speak with my life partner about her personal development. And I apologize ahead of time about the audio. It's not great. We had some audio issues that we didn't realize until after we recorded. But you live and you learn, correct? So without further ado, here is Micah.
Micah, I would ask you some questions. Are you willing to answer them?
No, I'm just kidding.
What's a lesson that you've learned the hard way that has significantly shaped who you are today?
Well, don't date someone like your dad.
Why do you say that?
Well, I guess I didn't have a great dad growing up, so I ultimately ended up marrying someone like my dad the first time around, and that was a bad choice.
Oh, wow.
Yep.
Did you know that going into it?
No, of course not.
Yeah.
I was 19 and he was 31.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was predatory.
Yeah.
But, when you're 19 and you haven't had a father figure as a role model, you're not willing to listen to other people, I guess.
Yeah.
I wasn't.
So how did it shape you?
I guess in a way it made me stronger as just an individual. There's music playing now. Okay, that was good. Stronger as an individual, probably. Super independent because I ended up having to take care of myself and take care of business for me and Evie and my household. And I learned how to work hard to get what I wanted and to make sure that I was good and my kid was good and my bases were covered.
That's, maybe since I know you, this seems like that's a significant way to learn those lessons.
Oh, yeah. I wouldn't recommend it to other people.
Yeah.
I feel like read a book.
Yeah. It was only that easy.
Exactly.
Okay. So, can you share a moment in your life when you felt most alive?
Probably meeting each of my kids for the first time. There's something very visceral and very exciting and very life-giving about meeting a person that you literally made.
Oh yeah. I'll never forget the day I died, the first time August was screaming when he came out.
Mm-hmm.
And as soon as he heard your voice, you're like, hey buddy. And it was over with, and he opened his eyes.
Oh yeah.
And it was the craziest, brightest blue eyes ever. And I was like, oh my gosh. That's
snuggled right
my
in.
boy.
Yeah. Mama's boy.
Yeah, he's a mom's boy. You're still out of that.
From 1 week to the next, it changes.
Well, and the follow-up was what makes that so special? And that's kind of self-evident there.
Super self-evident.
What's one dream that you held on to for a long time? And what steps are you taking to make it a reality?
I don't know. I feel like my dreams have changed a lot since I was a little girl or a younger girl. But worldview has changed that a lot. When I was, 10 years old, I wanted to be a missionary and a mother of 12 children and a vet, and just had this image of my life where I was super God lady. And now that I'm not religious and have realized that there's lots of religious trauma, I think I've gotten to figure out who I am as a person outside of some dogma trying to tell me who I'm supposed to be. as a woman. So I think in the last probably decade or so, one of my biggest dreams, I think, would be using like nature and like vegetable gardening and planting and stuff like that to help influence the lives of other people for the better. There's a guy in LA called Ron Finley. He's the gangster gardener, and he like has spearheaded these initiatives where he's like going into food deserts where these kids don't have any access to healthy produce. And I mean, their grocery store is the corner store that sells, 50-cent bags of Flaming Hot Cheetos, and they've never had a fresh tomato. And so he goes in and he either gets the city to sign off or gets people to crowdsource funds enough to like buy these empty lots, and he turns them into gardens. He'll take the space between the sidewalk and the street and he'll plant them with things. And he goes into school and has all these different like outreach programs where he teaches people about real food who have never been given the opportunity because of circumstance. So I think that would be cool. If I had no financial responsibilities, I think that's what I would like to spend my life on.
That's awesome. That's awesome. These questions are kind of all over the place, but
That's totally fine.
how has your understanding of love and relationships evolved over the years?
It's super evident now that it's not my job to fix other people. If I'm going to be in a romantic relationship with someone, they have to be enough of a person on their own 2 feet to like meet me in the middle. And I think I found that with you. Like, you don't complete me because I'm already a whole person, and I don't complete you because you're already a whole person. But I feel like we complement each other very well, and we get along, and we have similar worldviews and goals and expectations of each other. And it's got to be a partnership, I think, is definitely what I've learned. It's not going to be sustainable if one person is trying to fix something that's lacking in the other person.
Yeah. I'm just looking at the next question. I'm like, well, it's like we went to sort of a deeper place there. And the next one's like, but I guess when you're thinking about like relationships, like what? I guess I'm kind of interested in. I think when we're younger, we get into relationships. It's like you can sort of be the hero by fixing the other person away. Or maybe I wouldn't use the word hero, but I think it's the same thing for like a woman. I don't know. I'm not sure what your experience is, but I certainly had that. If I could just, and you realize that's not really what it's about. So what is it? For me, it was a lot of the reasons why I went into relationships because I felt like I could help the other person, which I now see is not healthy. But it's not like unhealthy, but if that's the only intent, right? It's interesting. Like, how is what? Not the relationship is completely transactional, but like, what is it? How has it changed what you want out of a relationship?
How has my growth and understanding changed, shaped what I want? I don't know. I definitely don't feel like I was going into relationships to be the hero.
Maybe it would be like I'm trying to find like, I feel like there is, I don't want to put it on this binary scale, but I do feel like there's kind of a male version. Maybe the female version is like a nurturer or something.
Oh yeah, no, it's definitely, I feel like more of a nurturing, you meet someone and they give you a sob story about how the last girl did this and the last girl didn't do this and whatever else, and they're just suffering individuals.
Yeah.
And yeah, like at that moment, it's like, I can be better than that other girl. Like, I can check the boxes in a way that you haven't had them checked before.
Yeah.
But again, it's still very much serving someone else's ideas and not looking at things as, oh, that's what you need. This is what I need. And I think, I mean, a lot of that is being 19 years old and not having any idea what you're doing.
Yeah.
And being in a predatory situation. What was a predatory situation at the moment? You know, it's just hindsight's 2020.
Yeah, sure. I think it's funny that you think that when you're younger, you think all those things, like whether it be nurturing or helping someone or being a hero, however you want to say it, like the thing you go into a relationship with, you realize that that's the stuff that gets in the way of the actual relationship. You know, the growing, like it, because you're looking for to be able to have like a certain satisfaction for being a nurturer or whatever, and that's not what a relationship is. It's not like, I've said transactional before. It's not like a one-for-one thing, you know? So,
Right.
Yeah, it's interesting. Let's shift a little bit. What's that book or movie that had a profound impact on your life, and why?
So I grew up super religious, very evangelical Christian. So there was a lot of shame around a lot of counterculture, for lack of a better word, like lifestyles. So, I mean, you couldn't be gay, you couldn't be black, you couldn't be, not that black is like counterculture, but it wasn't Midwest evangelical church in, you know, the boonies. But I remember reading a book. I would go to the library and I would just get whatever book looked cool on the cover. And my mom was not great at screening them, I guess. Like, I read some very questionable things that I probably would not, you know, not as a Christian parent, like, would not let my child read at the age that I read them. But there was a book called Simon Says, and it was the story of this, like, this kid who was this incredible painter, and they were at this, like, fine arts high school, and he was just this, like, broken human being inside because he was gay and nobody knew he was gay, and it was not okay to be gay, and he ended up killing himself. And I just remember it being so profound because it hadn't occurred to me that people could be so, like, just harassed and, like, unseen in their life to want to go to the extreme of killing themselves. I think it made me a more compassionate person. It made me more interested in trying to learn about people and situations that I was not part of. But yeah, I couldn't tell you what the characters' names were at this point, or, you know, what the conclusion was outside of this kid killing himself. But I just remember it being, I cried for weeks over that book.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm more compassionate.
I do see that one of the things that it just occurred to me now is, like, how a lot of, like, your big revelation, like, you should share, like, a big revelation about, like, how something's happening in the world with somebody else. Mm-hmm. Like, you're such a hugely compassionate person in that way, to where, like, you necessarily, I mean, I guess, let me ask you, was there a part of that book that you related to, or was it just that it opened up a world to you of other people's experiences?
It opened up a world of other people's experiences. Something that I was not going to be privy to as a kid who was homeschooled and then sent to a private Christian school and was going to church 3 times a week. And, you know, that wasn't a lifestyle that I was going to experience organically outside of the pages of the book.
Wow. So if you could have a conversation with anyone in history, who would it be and what would you ask them?
This is like one of those questions that like people ask that you see on like lists or whatever, like icebreakers. I don't know, you know. I really couldn't tell you. I don't think there's any burning questions that I have for people long past.
That's fine. Let's move on then. I would say have enough.
Yeah.
What's something you always wanted to learn or do but haven't yet?
I think it'd be really cool to like be fluent in ASL, American Sign Language. Yeah. But just to be like a polyglot period. Like I just, if I could have like one superpower, it would 100% be to understand and speak any language out there. But I think ASL is something that's like, I think everybody should.
I don't think I knew that.
Yeah, I think everybody needs to know enough. Like, I just...
Well, no, sometimes when you're talking about the boys, like, I was like, oh, this is... The one thing that you said early on is... and one of the things I found later in life is that the fact that I have words for stuff... Mm-hmm. It's such a corny thing when I hear people, I was like, what does that mean when somebody says, use your words to kids, you know? Like, I didn't have words for, sometimes I still have experiences when I learn these things, and then I'm like, oh, it's not just the words, but, you know, when we're doing you want more? Or you know, like, the other day I was like, oh, I need to know that because it's another outlet for them to, I don't know, externalize or get out what,
communicate. Yeah, it's learning communication.
No, I'm good.
Yeah, and you know, because it's so hard to tell. You can tell as parents, like we can tell to some degree what they need based on the type of their cry. Like we can tell when August is whining because he wants attention versus when he's seriously injured himself, you know?
Yeah.
I say seriously injured himself, and he's not seriously injuring himself other than like running his head and stuff, but you can tell the difference in the tone of their cries, and adding sign language is just one more way for them to hone in on what they're trying to say, to express their needs.
Yeah, exactly. It's just awesome. In a moment of self-doubt or adversity, what motivates you to keep going?
I mean, knowing that I need to figure it out because I have 3 children that depend on me. So I don't have an option to not figure it out.
Yeah. Okay. How do you define success, and do you feel you've achieved it?
I mean, I feel like there's always more that can be done, I guess. But yeah, I mean, I feel like I'm successful. I have a good job. I have this beautiful house. I have a great partner. I have 3 beautiful babies. I am lucky that, you know, my car is in the shop and it's not gonna bankrupt me to fix it.
Yeah.
I'm not worried about where my next meal is coming from. So, I mean, there's more, you know, there's different levels of success, I guess, and I guess success is different to everybody, and that's why you're asking this question, but, like, I'm comfortable. That doesn't mean I don't have goals, and there's not, you know, other places that I'd like to get to, other tiers of life. But, yeah, I think I am successful now.
What's one piece of advice you would give to your younger self?
Don't date the bartender that's 11 years older than you. I mean, I wouldn't have Evie, but
I was gonna say, like, how do you reconcile that? Like, you would have.
It's kind of a mindfuck sometimes. It's definitely like it would be great to have not gone through so many of those traumatic events that I've gone through in my life. But at the end of the day, I wouldn't have my daughter, who is phenomenal, and like I can't imagine life without her. So, yeah, mark it up as a learning experience.
What's the most meaningful gift you've ever received or given? And what made it so special?
Meaningful gifts. I don't know, meaningful? I'm not an exceptional gift giver. There's been a few moments where like I have like, hit the nail on the head and given something that was both like appreciated and like made the receiver excited. But I don't know about meaningful. Yeah, I don't know about meaningful.
Okay. If you could change one event in your life, would you?
Probably not, because I wouldn't be where I am today. It's like the butterfly effect, you go back in time and you change one teeny aspect, or even nobody goes back in time. It's like, I really did wish I didn't have chocolate milk on Tuesday at 11:45 a.m. It's always, I wish I didn't date this person or go to this concert or whatever. I don't know. So no, I would not change anything because I am quite content and happy with where I'm at in life right now. And changing anything in the past probably would have changed the trajectory.
Yeah.
So,
what are you most grateful for in your life right now? And how do you express gratitude?
Yeah, I feel like I'm maybe not so good at gratitude. I like to think that I am in my head sometimes, but you ask questions like this and it's like, maybe there's other things that I should be doing to express my gratefulness or my gratitude for things. Well, I'm really grateful for you. Like, it's nice to live life and like have a partner who is excited to have your back and is excited to like meet you in the middle, and like I'm hyped to come home and tell you about my day, even if it's I was bored to tears all day long. But I'm also excited to hear about your day and to see where you're at and see what's going on. And but I'm probably not super great at expressing that to you.
I would say that you are. I would say you are. And I would say that sometimes I feel like you have this awareness where you can tell, like sometimes you're like, okay, I should do this now. And it's not like it's coming from an inauthentic place. You're just like, yeah, I think you do that.
Okay.
It's interesting. It's interesting you said that you don't feel like you do.
Yeah.
What's one goal you have for the next year?
I want to get my garden dug.
Yeah. You work on it.
Yeah.
Already, it's like 20 degrees outside.
Well, I don't go out there when it's 20 degrees. I go out there when it's like 60.
Well, it's 20 degrees in the morning, 60 at night.
Yeah, in Cincinnati and this end of winter.
What does a perfect day look like to you from morning to night?
A perfect day. Let's see here. I'm not waking up before like 7:30. Gotta start with enough sleep. My coffee's ready. in my hand. I go through phases where, like, I don't want coffee, and then I do want coffee, and, like, I'm very much in a coffee phase, so I need the coffee first thing so that I can be right. And then, like, coming downstairs and seeing the boys who've been up for who knows how long, depending on the day. It's one of my favorite things is, like, peeking into the playroom and seeing them finally notice them standing there.
Yeah.
Like, August gets this little crunchy nose, like, goofy teeth smile, and Lita just sits there quietly and stares at me. Like, hello, you're here.
That's awesome.
Yeah, coming to see them. Then, I don't know. Have time to, like, pull a tarot card and take a shower, put on an outfit that doesn't make me look like a middle-aged mom, eat some good food, get my hands dirty. If I could, like, plant something or play with plants every day, I think that would be cool. A nice bottle of wine.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, I'm not high maintenance. Like, it'd be cool to go traveling, but, like, realistically, even on a perfect day, like, the places that I want to get to, the travel would take too long. Like, beam me up, Scotty, to Italy.
Yeah.
Beam me to Italy. It's going to take 0.2 seconds.
It's a long flight.
It's a long flight.
Oh. Right, I think, like, traveling like we did before the boys, like, going to North Carolina, and, like, setting the setting on the GPS to avoid highways.
And walking.
Whether we meant to do that or not.
We're going to walk and avoid highways. It's going to take us 72 hours to get there.
Yeah. That was fun.
That was fun.
Traveling that way. What's a belief that you once had very strongly, but you since changed your mind?
That God is real.
Yeah. Okay.
And I guess I don't want to say that God's not real. God in the Judeo-Christian, like, I don't believe that God is a Judeo-Christian, like, story is reality. I think there's something higher out there. You know, there's a greater being, there's a greater cause, whether you call it God or Gaia or the universe or Allah. I think all of them have some level of commonality. I just refuse to take part in the theory that one is better than the other, and if you don't follow a specific plan or set of teachings, you're gonna rot in hell, because they can't all be right and they can't all be wrong.
Oh, jeez.
I just, you know, it's
Sure.
It's just chaos, and I think I mean, you know, my feelings about organized religion, but it's a tool for oppression and control. That probably started very organically and realistically and has morphed into a way to control people who are too tired to think for themselves. So yeah, that.
That's again.
Huh?
Well, that's again. How do you recharge or take care of yourself after a stressful period?
See, that's something I'm still not exceptional at. Yeah, like I'm not great at that. The demands of having 10-month-old twins does not allow for a lot of, like, rest and recharging. I don't know, like, it feels so. Taking a shower is basic human needs. It's not resting and recharging. But I think if you were to ask me that question, which you did, like, that is, like, my alone time when I'm not being climbed on and I'm not being cried at and I'm not responsible for anything but my own cleanliness. Yeah, I need to learn new ways of resting and recharging to take care of me.
What's one thing you've learned about yourself through our relationship?
I'm not a doormat. Like I can be my own person, and I can speak my own mind and have my own feelings, and I don't have to worry about how you're going to take them. You know, like I feel like so frequently in the past I was worried that saying the wrong thing or doing the wrong thing or having an opinion that was different was going to be grounds for someone leaving or being mad and being withholding just emotion or energy or whatever. So being with you, I think I've learned that I can be my own person and have my own feelings and ideas and thoughts, and they're all valid. And you've created a space where I'm comfortable. You know, I can say something and be mad at you or like snap at you about something, and I don't have to worry that you're going to get in the car and leave because I pissed you off or whatever. So that. What?
It's so, like, I don't want to editorialize or anything. What you're saying, you know, I don't even want to give like my point of view. So I hope you didn't take it as like I'm just not really listening. It's about your answers.
Okay.
So I just wanted to. I felt like I needed to say that.
Okay.
So what's a question you wish I would have asked you, but I didn't?
I don't think there's anything that I wish you would have asked me. Not yet.
Okay. That's right. Well, thank you for being open. Thank you for sharing. This is actually, we should use it yet because it's...
See how things change down the road.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Or grow. Evolve.
I didn't think the ASL thing. Like, I guess you mentioned here and there, you know, like for that to be what popped in your mind when I asked you a question of what you want to do. That's pretty awesome.
It'd be cool.
So thank you for doing this.
Yeah.
I love you, and you're awesome.
Oh, I love you, and you're awesome too. Thanks for having me. That's my first podcast. I'm going to be a podcast star.
That's so glad the audio works.
Yeah, fingers crossed.
All right, that was Micah. So thank you so much for listening today to my conversation with my life partner. It was great fun to be able to do that with her. Again, I apologize about the sound audio, but that just makes it that much more charming, I think. So this has been Ryan Wants Life Coaching Podcast. You can find us online at Ryan Wants Life Coaching. There's a great brand new, this is the first time I've talked about it on the podcast, but it is Success IQ, and it really kind of looks at your emotional intelligence and how that's fueling your success. You can find that online, Ryan Wants Life Coaching Podcast /Success IQ. Until next time, all the best.